Welcome all in class 31 on electromagnetic theory. So in this class we will discuss about the reflection and refraction of electromagnetic wave at the boundary of two mediums for oblique and normal incidence. Finally, we will calculate the reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient at the boundary of two mediums. So, let us suppose we have two mediums, medium 1 and medium 2, which are separated by z is equal to 0. So, z is equal to 0 basically represents xy plane. As we are using Cartesian coordinate systems, so let us suppose the direction of x-axis and z-axis is in the plane of the paper and y-axis is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. The normal to the boundary is represented by two arrow line. So now let us suppose an electromagnetic wave is incident at the boundary of two mediums and incident wave makes angle theta I with the normal to the boundary. Now some part of the electromagnetic signal is transmitted into the medium 2, and while transmitting into the medium 2, let us suppose the electromagnetic wave makes angle theta t with the normal, and some of the electromagnetic wave is reflected back into the medium 1, and let us suppose the reflected wave makes angle theta r with the normal to the plane. Now our aim is basically to calculate the value of reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient of the wave. The reflection coefficient represents the ratio of reflected signal to that of incident wave, while the transmission coefficient represents the ratio of transmitted signal to that of incident signal. So in deriving these reflection coefficient as well as transmission coefficient, we need to use laws of reflection. The laws of reflection states that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of refraction, that is theta I is equal to theta r, and from Snell's law the refractive index of medium 1 multiplied by sine of theta I is equal to refractive index of medium 2 into sine of theta t, where n1 is refractive index of medium 1, which is square root of epsilon naught 1 and mu 1, and similarly refractive index of medium 2. Now depending upon the location of electrical field, we have two cases. In one of the case, the electrical field is perpendicular to the plane of paper, and in second case, electrical field is in plane of the paper. As electromagnetic wave is composed of electrical field, magnetic field, which are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So if we suppose that electrical field in first case is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, then magnetic field Hi will lie in the direction of plane of paper. The direction of E, H and direction of propagation are related by right hand thumb rule, where thumb represents the direction of propagation, the forefinger represents the direction of electrical field, and the middle finger will point in the direction of magnetic field Hi. So in case the electrical field is perpendicular to the plane, containing direction of propagation and magnetic field, then this is called perpendicular plane polarized wave. However, if electrical field lies in the plane of the paper, then it is called parallel polarized wave. Now, in case of parallel polarized wave, the direction of electrical field, the direction of magnetic field will be perpendicular to the plane of paper. So, in case of perpendicular polarized wave, direction of electrical field will be in the direction of y direction, while in parallel polarized wave, the direction of magnetic field will be in the direction of y axis. Now, for perpendicular polarized wave, definitely the H will lie in plane of paper, that is in plane of X and Z. Now, further, the magnetic field Hi can be divided into two parts. One is along the Z axis and second along the X axis. So, the component of H along the x-axis is tangential to the boundary. However, component of magnetic field along z direction is perpendicular to the plane of the boundary. Similarly, in parallel plane polarized wave, the electrical field can be split into two parts. One is along x direction and one is along z direction. The component of E along x direction, that is EIX component, will be tangential to the boundary at the interface. So, applying boundary conditions at the interface, we can have that tangential component of electrical field as well as tangential component of magnetic fields are same. That is, the tangential component of electrical field in medium 1 consists of two electrical field. One is for incident wave, second for reflected wave, both in y direction for perpendicular polarized wave. So for perpendicular polarized wave, we can have that EYI plus EYR is equal to EYT, and the components are perpendicular to the plane. So we can simply write that EI plus ER is equal to ET for perpendicular polarized electromagnetic wave. Further, as the magnetic field Hi, whose component is Hix along the boundary, is tangential to the boundary, so we can say that Hix Hrx is equal to Htx. That is, the tangential components of magnetic field are also same at the boundary. In order to find Hxi, Hxr, Hxt in terms of Hi, Hr and Ht, we are redrawing the geometry as shown in the slide. So here it was x-axis and this was the direction of normal. This is the incident plane wave which makes angle theta I with the normal. I am redrawing normals at some point. Now at this point I am drawing x-axis again parallel to the x-axis. Now from here we can calculate that this angle as well as this angle are theta I, as this is the direction of propagation of the wave. So it is 90 degree with the direction of propagation. So ultimately by using this geometry we can conclude that angle between HI and x-axis is theta I. So we can calculate that hxi component is hi cos theta I. Similarly, by using similar geometries, we can obtain that the hxr component is minus hr cos theta r. Similarly, hxt component is ht cos theta t. Now, putting these values of hxi, hxr and hxt, we obtain that hi cos theta I minus hr cos theta r is equal to ht cos theta t. Now, by using the equality that intrinsic impedance of medium 1 is the ratio of EI by HI. Similarly, it is also the ER and HR again lies in medium 1. So it is ER upon HR. So it is also equal to ET upon HT for medium 2. So by putting the values over here, we obtain that in spite of HI, I am just putting EI by intrinsic impedance of medium 1, and further as theta I is equal to theta R. So ultimately we obtain that EI minus ER is equal to ET intrinsic impedance cos theta t divided by intrinsic impedance to cos of theta I, because again we can put that HT is ET by intrinsic impedance of medium 2. So one equation we obtain that EI minus ER is ET intrinsic impedance medium 1 cos theta t divided by intrinsic impedance of medium 2 cos theta I, and we have earlier find that EI plus ER is equal to ET. EI plus ER is equal to ET. So by using these two equations and adding these two equations, we obtain EI as well as ER. As the reflection coefficient is the ratio of ER upon EI, so we obtain this value of reflection coefficient. Now transmission coefficient is ET transmitted wave divided by incident wave. So from this expression we can calculate the value of transmission coefficient. Similarly, for parallel polarized wave, we can obtain the value of reflection coefficients as well as transmission coefficients in a similar way. Now, there is a special case that when theta I as well as theta R as well as theta T is equal to 0, this is a case of normal incidence of electromagnetic wave at the interference. So by putting the values of theta I, theta T, theta R to be equal to 0 degree, we can obtain the value of reflection coefficient and transmission coefficient for normal incidence of wave at the boundary of two mediums. So this was all that we want to discuss in this class. Thank you.